And just for old time's sake, okay, so sense is a word that I got. So I feel like a lot of you Geminis are trying to do what makes sense. And then I also got practicality. So that's Mercury altogether, right? It's kind of like the Gemini version of Mercury and the Virgo version of Mercury. So, Gemini, this is going to be your part two for August. You know, I did a July August combination, but then life got crazy and I overextended myself a lot. Okay. So now I'm doing the part two, right, of July August dual readings. And here's your part two. Your part one is up. And go look at that one if you need more messages or the other message, because you got two, right? How suiting for Gemini. We've got that feather. Mercury is in your second house for Gemini risings, which is talking about, let me just anchor these, ground these, which is talking about earned income, money, finances, commitment, any sort of partnership that you might find yourself committed to in. It could be business oriented. It could be, romantically, right? And then in your third house, of communication, you've got Mars and Venus, the natural lovers of the zodiac, being together with the sun, right, in Leo. And that's just bringing focus to like the pride that you take in communication, right? And that's something that definitely is fixed for you, right? Your communicative skills, your need to communicate, the skillful way that you communicate. I haven't cut the bottom of the deck, or I haven't cut the deck yet, so let me just get to that. I'm going to do an ascendant spread. Classic Providence Tarot. I just want to thank everybody for liking, sharing, and subscribing and purchasing the readings that you've been purchasing. I've been having some wonderful experiences, great conversations, some epiphanies of my own, just talking to the clients, the providers that I like to call you. And, seeing where your lives are going, where my life is going, as we sort of like go about this journey together. Okay, so you got the Emperor. So you're definitely being very effective in the choices that you are making. And you are also trying to establish more foundation, right? Which is actually going to be the structures that are going to make you feel more secure later on in life or as time moves forward, okay? Because the fourth house is Cancer. We had an eclipse there. We had an eclipse also in the 10th house, which, is Capricorn, and that opposes Cancer, okay? And Cancer being the fourth house, opposing that is talking about time, okay? So you're thinking about time because he's sort of aged here, you're thinking about the ways that you have matured and the responsibilities that you have now acquired with time, being this mature version of yourself. It's almost like you have stood the test of time, right? And you know some truths about yourself, and you know some truths about the things that you have done and the reasons why you're doing them, what your intention is, what your purpose is. And it's also kind of like, you're realizing that there is a state of being that you would like to embody, right? And you are really trying to manifest that state of being, right? By doing, okay? And by allowing yourself to take pride, because the sun is in Leo, which is actually your third house, okay, being that Cancer and Mercury is in your second house of Cancer, we're talking about, structures and, security, of course, a lot of structure, security, a lot of connecting to oneself and understanding the reasons why you do what it is that you do. You know what I mean? What's the meaning behind it? Because Leo does talk about meaning behind things. You could be communicating the meaning of something to people. You could be communicating the meaning of something to yourself, because there is a sense of, you know, you have to put your emotions aside for a moment and realize the reality of what is, right? Because the emperor is, he likes to do, and he is being something. Okay. Your perspective is a little bit strengthen. It's like a strength here, right? Strengthened perspective, because you have gone through some sort of initiation, right? You might even be feeling like you're being initiated into something, because the emperor likes to start things, and he also likes to finish them too. So you could be starting something that you're going to finish, or you could be starting something that you understand is going to evolve and be very foundational for you and your structures moving forward. Okay. And then it is talking about a completion. So you may have reached a completion of a stage in your life, and now you're initiating something else that is now a new structure, right? And it really is talking about a beginning and an end, and also all that lies in between, because there's a water stream, you know what I mean, behind him and in front of him. You don't really see this one right here where my pinky is, but it's there. You know what I mean? And it's almost kind of like you have to surrender to something, too, a greater purpose, actually, because his sword is down and his scepter is up, right? And the scepter is talking about energy and focus, right? And determination. It's not necessarily talking about cutting action or destroying something, because you're trying to establish something. And in order to establish something, you have to sort of destroy an old structure to create the new structure. You know what I mean? The emperor is ruled by Mars. He definitely has a connection to the tower, because that is Mars. But, it's just saying that you are enhancing a structure that already exists, right? You know? And this card is related to the death card by way of it being, Scorpio, being ruled by Mars as well. And Mars is in Leo right now, in your third house of communication and multiplicity, of siblings, right? Of enjoyment out of life, and also messages, okay? It's almost kind of like you're getting messages. It's like the bringer of messages. So it's like you are receiving these messages, right? You are aware of a commitment that you're going to have to hold yourself accountable for. Two. Anyway, I digress. Let me get to the central card here. The Knight of Swords. Okay, so the Knight of Swords is also talking about communication. This is you. This is multiplicity. This is fire meeting air. And it is Gemini, but it is also Taurus. And Taurus, because it's 1/3 Taurus, right? All of the court cards are. So this is talking about second house energy, right? And your second house being Cancer is where Mercury is, which is the ruling planet of you, Gemini, okay? So this is talking about combustion, combustible energy that is moving you forward. You might be intimidated by this energy, right? Because you can feel the heat from it, okay? And it's good because it's making you feel like something is alive and something is cooking, right? You see what I mean? Um, and this could be you testing someone else's maturity level, right? And putting them in the heat of things with you, but it's so that something can be really, really established very strongly, okay? For sure. Okay, here we go with another four. It's talking about relationships. So you might be expanding your relationships, right? The people that you are involved with, right? Or you could be just kind of like, you know, growing yourself by understanding what it is that you're going to have to do. Oh my goodness, to experience a level of personal growth that doesn't have to necessarily do with other people. So it's kind of like you might be dealing with a lot of people, but at the same time, you have a responsibility to deal with yourself as well and to maintain your wits about you and to not let the influence of others, become too, you know, influential over you. Maintain your ideas and maintain your thought structures, right? And maintain your thought patterns that are, a part of your foundation, a part of your personality and your creativity. So this is talking about owning your creativity as well, right? Because the fourth house is ruled by Cancer, and this is the Four of Swords, and you have the Emperor here, which is the fourth major arcana card, which is definitely speaking to this Four of Swords here. Creativity, protecting your creativity, owning your creativity, right? Understanding that there's more at play here. This is an 1111 energy, right? Keeping your mental soundness, being of sound mind and body, right? Not allowing yourself to be influenced by that which is grand just because, right? Because it's Jupiter in Libra. And because everything might be seemingly so great and things might be seeming like they're taken care of and they're being supported in these structures and all of these things are happening, there's a lot of talk going on. You know what I mean? You might be a little bit exhausted because of all of the things that are going on, because you're trying to establish these structures and do all of these things and be this person. But then at the same time, you have to also, give back to you, you know? This is you taking a spiritual time out. This could even be after all of these things are established and up and running. You know what I mean? But it is definitely talking about clarity. You have mental clarity. You're gaining mental clarity. Your clarity of the mind has expanded and has grown. Okay. This is also sort of like a gestation period, because the fours are ruled by Cancer and Cancer is the mother. You know what I mean? And there's a period of that gestation, right? Which is when something is in development, and this is something, your ideas are in development. You're having some other creative ideas that are starting to develop in your mind, and you might need to take that sort of like artistic hiatus, right? You might need to take a little bit of a break in a little bit just so you can kind of get those things set in place and those structures and your ideas and your plans, right? And your data and your information, perhaps. Let me move on. Okay, here we go. You got the Six of Pentacles, which is the moon in Taurus, and the moon is talking about, offering, nurturing, giving to an experience, right? And this is Taurus, so Taurus likes to be taken care of. Taurus likes to feel secure. Taurus likes to have these norms set in place, right? That are going to be servicing to it, of service to it in its daily life. So you're trying to understand how these things that you're setting in place are going to continue to serve you, right? As you go about your daily life, as you continue to stay encouraged and motivated. It's also talking about healthy practices in business and healthy ways of, continuing to create a healthy flow, right? Because the sixes are talking about flow, and it's talking about reciprocation, and it's also talking about multiplicity, dual multiplicity, right? That continues to go, that continues to evolve, you know? I'm getting red carpet. I don't know why. But it's kind of like, it's feeling like the thing that red carpet type of energy is going to roll it. But it does have like a strip of red behind this person. This could be somebody giving you an opportunity, you know what I mean? Because this is a six, and the sixes are related to, Mercury is very opportunistic, okay? And this is a card that is highly related to you, because it is a six. It's achieving financial balance as well in your day to day life. This is being able to save money, being able to purchase things, being able to like feel secure in your finances, being able to spend money freely, right? Because the sixes are talking about freedom as well, in a sense, in a way, right? Because multiplicity is freedom, it's definitely not restriction, right? It's committed, it's you being committed to sort of like grounding your daily life, okay? You might want to just kind of like settle, not settle in a bad way, but have things settle in a nice and comfy way. It's talking about retirement for some people, and it really is just talking about, life as it continues and the comfort levels that you feel like you would like to maintain, right? It's about maintaining comfort levels with the six, because it's maintenance. In the sixth house is Virgo, and that's talking about regularities in maintenance and habits, right? And it's talking about beauty too, because Taurus is ruled by Venus, right? Venus is in Leo right now in your third house, okay? Some of you might be getting involved in beauty and business, right? Some of you might want to try to like have that sort of thing come back in your life. Um, some of you might just be finding different ways of being, and then it's a six, okay, and then it's Venus, right, and then it's talking about balance, right? Just saying. And the Knight of Swords is talking about multiplicity, right? Knight of Swords. I don't know what I said, but Knight of Swords, right? And being able to adapt to things that change quickly. You know what that is about. You know, it's talking about the body too, right? Some of you might need to like put a little bit more consideration into how you treat your body on a day to day, physically, what you put into it, right? Also, the physicality of what you do. Are you working out? Fitness and all of that. And a lot of times, people come in and they just do. And it's like, but what do you know that you are doing, right? It's like your body is going to function the way that it functions. You're not going to make it do anything. You see what I mean? But you can put a lot more consideration into what you're doing. Be patient, practice, because in a way this is instant gratification, but there's instant gratification in terms of how what your intentions are and moving forward, right? Because the moon is talking about evolutions and moving forward, and it also is talking about like just being very considerate. The sixes are talking about consideration, right? When you consider something, right, you will receive. There's reciprocity in that. So you have to just kind of like think about what it is that you're doing and think about what it is that you're feeding yourself day to day. All of that. Food, what you take in music wise, what you watch on TV, the type of people you get involved with, you know what I mean? That type of thing. Are you experiencing romance? Are you experiencing beauty? Right? Do you do you know why you do the things you do? Do you know why you eat the things you eat? Do you know why you say the things you say? Do you know why? You know what I mean? It's like all of those things. That's kind of like what the sixes are talking about. Mercury likes to ask why. Gemini likes to ask why. Uh, Virgo definitely does. Oof. I'm definitely going to be taking some vitamin C like as soon as I'm done with this video. Okay, I wasn't even going to flip this over, but in the past, you got the Eight of Wands. So this is talking about information and things coming in fast, opportunities, right? You know, these are also like challenges of power, right? How strong are you? That type of thing. How do you use your power? How are you asserting your power to move forward? You know what I mean? How are you taking the information that you are being given through, just spirit? Because you all are connected to spirit in your mind. It's talking about your thoughts, right? And how are your thoughts helping you move forward in terms of like getting somewhere that's going to be beneficial to you? You know what I mean? It really is understanding, the intentions that you put into your actions as well, right? So if you have an acute sense of intention, then, but with multiplicity and being able to allow things to change and be able to go with the flow of things, then you'll be able to get more things done, actually. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's what you understood in the past, right? And it's about staying focused. Ooh, all right. Let me go ahead and flip over your sun card. You got the Page of Rods, and the Page of Rods is talking about changes of phases and the, focus in changing of phases. This is a learning period and sort of like what you're doing. You might be at a beginning stage of like doing things, right? And, it's talking about a learning process, and it's talking about new growth, and you're experiencing new growth, and you understand that. You know what I mean? Your eighth house, I believe, is Capricorn, and I'm pretty sure your eighth house is Capricorn because in Gemini, your seventh house is Sag, and your eighth house is Capricorn. So that's transformational energy for you. And Saturn, which is the ruling planet of Capricorn, rules the pages. Okay, the world card rules the pages. Okay, right. So it's talking about a transformative learning process, and it's talking about the karma of that. It's really asking you to understand what it is that is happening, right? And this could also be like transformations and things that are just happening on a deep level in your intimate relationships, okay? And you might be understanding that you're at a new phase. Something has changed for you in your life, and it's initiating you in a different way. And this is a level of growth, that you're experiencing, and you understand that. It's talking about expansion, definitely with this Mercury and Sagittarius card here in the past, right? So you initiated something that was actually a part of your expansion process. Mm. Okay. And in your moon position, you have a seven, which is, that's ruled by the chariot, which is a seven. It's talking about moving forward and confidence and, how your confidence might be being tested here, right? Because it is Saturn. Here we go again, talking about Saturn. And then it's in Taurus, and Taurus is actually your 12th house, right? And that's the 12th house of blockages, right? So something could, you might be emotionally blocked within a relationship, right? And you're waiting for it to get better because there might be something that just hasn't like come to its full fruition yet, right? And you're kind of like weighing things out, and you're understanding that there's something here that's substantial, but you haven't seen it fully grow into what it's meant to grow into. You haven't seen it move forward into the way that you felt like it was going to move forward yet for you. You haven't gotten out of it what you thought you were going to get out of it. You know what I mean? And this could be about your body, some of you. It could be about like thinking about how you're going to be fair to yourself, you know what I mean? And make choices and decisions, and not let people make choices and decisions for you about your body or about your money or about your business, okay? And then it's also talking about, your relationships, okay? Maybe not being fully satisfied, right? Because this is a conflict. Eh, it's a conflict what am I saying? I'm sorry, you guys. Conflict with an advantage, okay? You might be feeling like something, your time is being taken advantage of, right? Or you might just be feeling like, your partner might be making you feel secure. A business partner might be making you feel insecure. Your partner might be making you feel insecure. You just might be blaming someone else for your own insecurities because of the lessons that you are learning that you're sensitive to, because it's a seven, which is meaning that it's a chariot Cancer related card. And it's also related to Libra, which is the seventh house. Okay, and that's talking about, one-on-one relationships and how you react in your relationships and in business, right? And also how you react to, changes in money and structures of that, right? And this is talking about money because it's a Pentacles card, but then it's also talking about how secure you are with your money. You want to make a little bit more. You feel like there's something else that you could probably gain out of this experience. You might even be feeling like you want to give up, right? Because the confidence is being tested in something, but it's saying don't give up because you need to stay in it because you're meant to evolve here. This is a card that is Saturn, okay, which rules Capricorn, but it's also Taurus, right, which is a fellow Earth sign. But Taurus, the moon is exalted in Taurus, right? The moon rules Cancer. Cancer, the chariot is a 7. This is a 7. We're talking about Libra too. So it's relationships. It's how you govern your money and your life, right? Who you are, right? Who you have fully become, who you are becoming. And then it also has to do with how secure you feel with who you are and who you are becoming and who you feel like you deserve to be as a reaction to how others may see you. All right, Gemini, let me go ahead and flip over your card and your anxieties. So you have anxieties in getting what you wish for. You have anxieties in getting somewhere. You might be feeling like you're willing to make a sacrifice, right? To get to where you want to go. But also you understand that, your philosophy might be changing, right? This is affecting you emotionally, right? You might be having some anxieties about, where you see something going, you know. In your head, you're very passionate about it. You might even be feeling dignified about the way you feel about what it is that you want, what you desire, what you wish for. Um, it's kind of like you don't know if the glass is half empty or is it half full. You don't know if this thing that you want or where you're going is actually going to be that which satisfies you, right? You might be understanding that there is another side to the situation that might be revealed to you, right, out of getting this wish. Or you may have had an epiphany that has led you to, desiring something or wishing something from your life, right? Because this is talking about the ninth house, which is Sagittarius, which is your seventh house of relationships, right? Jupiter is in Sagittarius. This is Jupiter in Pisces right now. And, being that Jupiter is, a dispositing planet, I guess, to in Vedic astrology, to Pisces, right? It's in Sagittarius, which is squaring Pisces. So there's some conflict here. But then there's also harmony here because Jupiter likes to be in both of those places. But it's squaring Neptune, which is talking about dissolving boundaries and changing things. And it's talking about multiplicity and things maybe not being what they seem. And that's why you wish for something else, but you're having anxieties about that, right? But then it's also talking about something being revealed to you once you go in, or maybe you have gone in, right? And now something has been revealed to you through your intuition, okay? And you're realizing that it's something that you want. And that's why the Emperor came up at the bottom of the deck, because he wants something. And that's why the Four of Swords came up, because it's related to the Emperor, and it's talking about perspective, how you perceive things, what you think, spirituality, and being connected to, like, the divine and, the angels. Here's another four right underneath it that just revealed itself to me. Here you go. Bam. Right? Four of Pentacles, Sun and Capricorn. Capricorn is your eighth house. That's where Saturn and Pluto are. Pluto is a dispositing planet of Scorpio, talking about transformation, right? Atonement, letting go, releasing your fear, so that you can ultimately have what you want and desire out of life, because it's talking about destiny, right? With Neptune squaring Jupiter in your seventh house, okay? And Neptune, like I'm saying, is dissolving boundaries. It's talking about destiny, right? Things that were meant to happen. We're talking about karma here, Sun in Capricorn, Four of Pentacles. This is also talking about a foundation or something that you've done, that you've been doing, and who you have been over time, that you have substantiated, right? That is of substance that we can see is a full body thing, maybe feeling blocked, right? And then there's intuition here as well at play, because it's a four and it's related to Cancer, which is the fourth house, which is actually your second house of earned income and commitment, right? And also sort of like belief system, and also like, values as well. And the Hermit is here, which connects to this nine of cups. The Hermit is Virgo. It's talking about your daily life structures, right? That might be changing. You're going inward to see what is the meaning behind this. There's two sides to it. Right? Mars, choices, decisions, how they affect others, because it's Moon in Libra, okay? The Moon in a sign that squares it, okay? Look, I'm rolling up my sleeves, child. I like the sleeves. I don't know why I'm doing that. Maybe it's because it's hot. So this is talking about perspective. Gain perspective over time. Evolutions of the mind. Evolutions of truths. Two truths. And how they affect each other. Because it's a 2, right? And it's Libra. And it's a 2, which looks like an 11, right? Okay, and that's going into Aquarian energy, which is 10th house, which is talking about, how you govern your life. Okay? Ooh. The 11th house is Aquarius, and it's talking also, the 11 major arcana card is the Justice card. That's Libra. It's talking about how you're being fair to yourself and fair to other people, justification of decision and choices, okay? The proof to oneself and to others. This is a waxing moon, so it's growing, okay? So it's saying that there's something being shed light. Light is being shed onto something, and you're going to have to allow yourself to see it so that you can gain perspective. And it's also talking about making a choice and making a decision, right? How it affects your relationships, and friends, because the 11th house is talking about friendship as well. Okay? Your 11th house. Capricorn is 8. Aquarius. Oh, your 11th house is Aries. Yes. That is being. That is initiating. That is friends. You might be changing friends. I don't know. I'm moving on because now I'm just going too far into this card, and that's all it needs to be. But this is in Mars, okay? To boil it all down, it's in Mars position. So it's saying make the decision. Make the choice. Your choices are going to affect people that you have one-on-one relationships with, right? It is something with a mother here as well. Just because it's the moon in Libra, right? It's a moon. There's a lot of water here. It's shallow though, right? So you're starting to feel, we're at the beginning stages of the sword, so you're starting to sense something. Does gain perspective. Right? Right? That 2, that Roman numeral 2 looks like an 11, looks like the justice card, right? Fairness. Make sure that you're being fair in your relationships, for sure. Do what's fair. That's it. Now in your relationship position, which is Venus here. 8 of Cups. Saturn and Pisces. This is talking about loss. This is talking about regret. This is also talking about having the strength to deal with self-asserted, right? Detachment, right? Moving away. Oh, I just did a contraction because, like I said, when you make this choice, which is Mars telling you to do it, look at the card closely. Let me give you enough. Waxing moon, making choices and decisions, being fair in relationships, doing that. What does that mean? Walking away from something. There's the waning moon right here, right? Beginning to end. And this fell in my lap. This 8 is talking about power, right? The power to surrender a relationship, or the power to understand, because it's Mercury too, because all of the 8s have a connection to Mercury on the tree of life, okay? You have to do this because it is an 8 and it's talking about transformation, and it, like I said, Pluto is in your 8th house right now with Saturn, okay? Pushing for transformation, karmic transformation. This is a karmic transformation, right? And it is also saying how you're going to be emotionally affected by it. You know what I mean? There is going to be some depth of emotion here with this detaching, with this play of strength and courage that you're going to have to exhibit, right? There's a level of stoicism that meets victimization, which is so weird. Gemini is so playful and happy, and you're confusing at the same time. So sometimes when we don't know that you're going through something, you're going through something because you're an air sign, right? They say that we like our emotions. No, our emotions are connected to our thought process, right? Or to our psychology, to what's going on in our head. This is saying that something has served its time period. Something has served its purpose emotionally. Something has served its purpose karmically. Something has, um, you know, been what it is, has been, and what it's going to be. Now it's time to become something else. Because, like I said, if Aries is to be, and then Scorpio is to become, right? And to become something means you have already been something. So you're transforming and you're becoming something else. Ooh, and the sun kind of like the clouds cover the sun, so now you can really see the card, y'all. Okay. So now let's look at your future cards, which I have a future position, which I'm going to go ahead and choose that one first. Then I have the outcome and the energy moving forward. And then I have, the ascendant position, which is actually why this spread is called the ascendant spread, right? It looks like a pyramid, but I don't really call it that. I call it the ascendant spread. And the one at the top is what you're going into, right? What you are, being channeled to walk towards, okay? which is actually going to be very important in your perspective changing, right? So that you can move forward, okay? Confidently, right? Because the eights are also related, right? This eight is also, it's related to the strength card, obviously, but then it's also related to the star card, which is Aquarius, right? And Aquarius is your ninth house. And that's talking about, definitely confidence, perspective. Like I said, I was saying that a lot. This is an eight as well, you know, so it's related to that. Perspective changing. It's Sagittarius moving forward. Sagittarius is your seventh house. That's relationships. Capricorn is your eighth house, right? Transformation. The eighth house rules sexual energy, you know, sexuality. Taurus is sensuality, right? Because sometimes people are like, I was talking to a Gemini today. Actually, follow her on Instagram, Earth Mother Medicine. Get your baths, your spiritual baths and things. Talk about that sexual energy. I know, right? Genitalia, sexual identity, right? Hmm. Walking away from something, changing that perspective, it being different, you being different, that thing can be what it is where it is, right? And it's talking about time as well. Ooh, this is deep, Joe. Yes. I said I was going to pull over the future card first, but I didn't. I did the outcome, and the energy moving forward is a 10. And it's Jupiter, which is the wheel of fortune, right? Which is talking about things changing and something growing and then evolution happening, a hamster wheel, somebody, you may have been feeling like you're on a hamster wheel and now you're willing to surrender to part of yourself. This is great because it went from the Eight of Cups to the Ten of Cups. And the Ten of Cups is talking about something that you are identifying with, self identity, right? That you are assertively moving towards, growing into, evolving into, you're going to surrender to something that is actually going to be better for you. It's Mars and Pisces. Pisces is unconditional love, right? You might be choosing to love yourself unconditionally, right? Some of you could be, giving up your ego to fulfill, a romantic or loving energy with another person, perhaps. It's also the awareness of a feeling, right? That you would like to assert, and as you want to assert yourself as a in honor of that notion. Okay, it is Pisces, so it's talking about Neptune. It's talking about Jupiter. Dissolving boundaries, changing things, intuition. Venus is related to Pisces, so it's talking about love, care, nurturing, honoring, right? Being receptive, feeling safe, and celebrating who you are. Because all of the tens reduce to a one, and that's an eight. I mean, that's reduced to a one, and that's Aries. That's what I meant to say. But Aries is ruled by Mars, and so is Scorpio, right? So this is Mars and Pisces, okay? So that's all of that type of energy. And Mars being in the water sign here, Pisces, it's like, definitely talking about spiritual transformative energy by way of the beauty, right? Of expansion. Ooh, the beauty of soulful expansion. All right. Your future card is Jupiter in Gemini. You know, you might be feeling trapped by your thoughts. Okay. Another eight. You have three eights here talking about transformation. Right? How are you going to transform your thought process? How are you going to assert your power? Right? The power of the mind is incredible. Okay, and with Jupiter being here, it's almost like you're being carried. You're letting your mind get carried away, just with like all of the things that you might be intimidated by, that you might be fearful of. Okay, um, and that might make you feel weak. It's like your thoughts making you feel weak, right? Your confidence is being challenged, is feeling confident, right? Feeling powerful, right? You are actually, but you don't think you are, right? Um, and as soon as you realize that you are being trapped by your own mind and your own thoughts, you'll realize that you actually are free, you know, because this is an eight. So I guess it is kind of getting into a good place, even though it is the Eight of Swords. Trapped in the mind, fear of the mind, just like the growth of it. It's getting, yeah. Eighth house, strength card, which is Leo, right? And that's where the sun, Mars, and Venus are. Okay? So they're in the same sign. I don't know if they're actually conjunct, but they're in the same sign. My Mars and Venus are in a conjunction, okay? And it's talking about honoring, right? Honoring a process. You need to meditate, you need to clear your mind because the eight is, like I said, related to the star card, just like it is the strength card. You know what I mean? So this is kind of like allowing you to have some sort of like clarity. Meditate. It's like you're meditating on the wrong thing. It wants you to see clearly so you can have a clear perspective, so you'll know where you stand. Right now you don't know where you stand, you know. You need in the future, because this is a future card, you're going to have to exercise some level of power and intention so that you can see where you stand. And here we go with the card at the top of the reading that's talking about what's coming to you, and you know, basically like what you're meant to evolve into. And oh wow, I did talk about, you know, Pluto being in your actual eighth house, right? It's the judgment card. I did talk about setting yourself free. I did talk about atonement. I did talk about transformation. I talk about making choices. I did talk about leaving something that will always be what it was, where it is, but then becoming something else out of that, you know. This is rising. This is a new, you know, this is a rising in the rising position. Okay. Morgan Grid Tarot deck, by the way. Ooh. La, 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 la. I had planned on choosing a Lenormand card for you, and I know it's just one. Maybe I'll have to do more than that. You guys, I need to get a haircut today. I need to do laundry. There's a lot of things I need to do. I was not planning on making this reading very long, but it is long. So, you know, this is for Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Rising. This message may not resonate with everybody. If it doesn't resonate with you, then go ahead and look at Gemini Part 1. And follow me on Instagram, Providence Tarot. My personal account is NYC Kendrick. That's where you see all my fitness stuff. This has been a deep reading, Gemini. Oh, wow. So this has to do with the father. It's the bear, and it's 15. And if we think about 15 in Riddle Tarot, it's the devil card. But if I think about 15 here, it is 1 and 5, which is the awareness of, commitment based, um, you know, creation. It's creativity, but then it's also kind of like stability. It's trust. And this card definitely represents like a brother, a son, a father, uncle, that type of energy, and things that are constant, right? It's also providing, like what's being provided here. Are you providing something for yourself, right? Because it's talking about what you provide for yourself, right? Definitely. How you identify with an environment that actually is going to be of service to you as well, right? It's talking about putting yourself in a position that is actually going to be more efficient for who you are in your life, okay? Right, it's the bear. You didn't know I was going to say all that, okay? And it's talking about focus, right? It's talking about trusting an environment as well, right? Are you allowing yourself to see what it is around you that is at your service, right? That is actually providing for you? I need some more cards. I need like 2 more so I can like pull together something else. This is about being grounded, getting grounded, more grounded in your daily life. Okay, here's your card. It's Mercury, right? This is talking about traveling. This is talking about your body. It's also talking about breathing, right? So some of you may be feeling like you were holding your breath. And I feel like maybe you are now taking a gasp of air, or you might even be like just kind of like taking these downloads in, right? You might have felt like there's a snake in the grass here too. You might have been avoiding something, right? What's that song that Mariah Carey sings? A no-no, snake in the grass, it's time to cut the lawn. And this is definitely the awareness of something, for sure, your focus. It's talking about a change of focus, and it's putting energy into that new idea, right? Whatever that is, okay? So that's good. A new idea was set in place in your mind. And there is something pure about this idea with this white horse here, right? It's sparking a passion within you, something that you might be passionate about, you know? And Mercury is the bringer of messages, you know what I mean? He's a messenger of the gods. So you might be getting these messages from, God, or whatever it is that you believe in that is your higher power, right? For sure. One more card for you guys. And then this is like an hour part. Oh, oh, this is good. Oh, another card fell out onto it, so I'm gonna have to look at that one too. You got the sun. And I said something earlier when I saw that you got, the 8 of Swords in the future, right? This is good when you allow yourself to release, when you allow yourself to transform, when you allow yourself to give up this, this grip that you might be having on a weakness that you're not ready to acknowledge. Then you will, and look, I'm not even thinking about, is it still going? Like Shangela said, is the bus still running? That is such a weird look on my face, child. Hold on. Let me see if I can bring me back. Okay, anyway, I'm sorry. But you got the sun, and this is talking about, just pouring positive energy and positive light into your reading. So once you release those things and once you allow yourself to atone for whatever it is, whatever your mistakes were, whatever it is that you feel like was happening that wasn't fair, or that you feel like might have been testing your level of strength, right? Um, you know, right? Here we go. 13, transformation, right? It's happening. It's talking about children too, and something being in its infancy, something being at the beginning stages. And then it's also talking about, just allowing yourself to see life in a different way, new structures early, right? Your children could be affecting this, your children could be affecting you. Some of you might need to get a pet, right? Cat, dog, fish, whatever it is that you can pour positive energy into or give love to, right? And this is talking about giving love to that transformation, embracing the transformation, because it's going to bring about a new level of security, right? Self, self, self security, right? What am I saying? Um, yeah. And also, you need to enjoy life a little bit more. You know what I mean? Just allow yourself to see the beauty in life for sure. Um, Realize that what's happening to you is a part of your evolution, because children are meant to grow up, you know what I mean? And it's a part of their life and their transformation. You were meant to, you know, it's part of your destiny. It's part of your destiny, child. All right, Gemini. I hope the video didn't freeze on me making that weird face that I'm looking at right now. But it's coming out that once you allow yourself to let go of those things that are controlling you when you would like to actually have more control, it's just realizing that you don't have control over everything. And some things that happen in life are going to be surprising to you, because this is a surprise, right? And even though this is number 15, the bear, you know, there's still a Roman numeral 1, which is talking about surprise elements, right? All right, darling. I'm going to let y'all go because I need to go. And I'm going to take that vitamin C, like I said. I love you, Gemini. I'll see you later.